Well, China stealing our military secrets. New research suggests Chinese hackers are targeting more than 24 universities to get access to maritime technology. To trusted SEC founder and cybersecurity expert David Kennedy. David, do you have any doubt that this is being done by the military, the Chinese military?
I mean, we don't have a lot of the data to actually support exactly where it came from, but we have seen a huge increase in Chinese government activity related to this type of theft. So, I mean, if they're saying it came from China, there's probably a lot of great evidence to support it, and I wouldn't doubt it. There's been a huge uptick in a substantial amount since 2015 when we actually had a treaty that really set forth that we wouldn't see a lot of this intellectual property theft. So there's not really much doubt in our minds around where it's originating from, and we're definitely seeing a huge increase when it comes to intellectual property theft, government secret theft from the Chinese government specifically.
Do we know what they're looking for?
Well, in this specific case, they were developing maritime technology to be used for military purposes. And China definitely uses this type of cyber theft to go into different organizations or different types of research facilities to ensure that it can keep up to date with what the United States is doing. And we see that very commonly from different intelligence organizations, including Russia, including North Korea, including Iran. All of these are different ways that we can use cyber capabilities to understand what our adversaries are doing. And China definitely does that same thing. They want to understand the technology that we're developing so they can stay up to speed with what we're doing here with our military as well.
Now, clearly, they want us out of Asia. I mean, they want us out of all of Asia. They want to be the dominant force in Asia. They don't want us to be any part of it. But specifically the South China Sea. Isn't that their real target here? That's where they have those islands built up, et cetera.
And that's been a major contention point between the United States and our allies when it comes to that specific geographic location. And so when it comes to maritime technology, are we building up our capabilities to try to have an advantage in those locations? That's definitely something that China is very interested in and wants to ensure that they maintain a very big presence in that disputed area. So that's definitely something that I can see where they'd want to have access to that facility. And we see that commonly. Medical research is a huge area for them. Military preparedness is a huge area for them. They're definitely increasing their sophistication and the amount of intrusions they have here within the United States, and especially during these trade war battles.
And it seems to be more than a concern about their own defense. It seems that they do have imperialist goals, if you will, certainly with regard to Taiwan, but also perhaps with regard to Vietnam. Vietnam has complained many times about their intrusions into their water space and airspace, and perhaps even the Philippines, part of the South China Sea as well.
That's right. That whole area is in dispute. And they're getting more and more aggressive around land, around areas that they can expand into and regions there. And you see the cyber front also follow the same type of path. We've seen incursions not just here in the United States, but in those locations as well. So it's not just isolated here in the United States around intellectual property theft. Their government is very much focused on understanding policies, understanding technology, understanding influence within Western allies. It's an expansive problem that we're dealing with right now with China. And now they're looking at implementing all of their Chinese technology with 5G, with Huawei, across our European allies. So now we have Chinese technology running our next generation of our backbone of our internet. So there's a lot of problems that we're seeing from China currently.
Yeah, of course, remember, they got a lot of problems themselves, as we just talked about in the previous segment. David Kennedy, good to see you. Thank you very much. Very
Thanks, David. You too.
Stuff.